So I woke up this morning to the video of Alton Sterling, and I have never been so disturbed and so heartbroken by a video in my whole entire life. I have been crying on and off all day, couldn't eat, couldn't really do anything, and so that's when I knew I had to write about what I was feeling because I felt like it was the only way that I could process and deal with what's going through my head. And I know trying to get it published anywhere would take weeks, so I'm just going to record a short video talking about how I feel about this incident and what I hopes to come from it and so on and so forth. So bear with me. I'm going to try not to cry while I read this. Here we go. We are growing up in a world that has an all or nothing mentality, and it's killing us. Literally, hundreds of people are dying because we cannot fathom that we live in a good world with just some bad people. I am sick to my stomach about Alton Sterling. He is the 114th black man to be killed this year by police. When you realize that there have only been 186 days this year, it's hard for even the naysayers to ignore that there is a problem. Watching the video of the murder of Alton Sterling took my breath away. In that moment, I couldn't fathom that this was happening in a country that is supposed to be a world leader. Except that I can, because it's happened before. I'm reminded of the way that Eric Gardner exasperated that he couldn't breathe and was still killed. I'm reminded of the way that Freddie Gray's cry for medical help was ignored and died. The names and circumstances of the black men who have been killed are starting to become a blur, and I hate myself for it. My heart broke as two police officers pinned Sterling to the ground and shot and killed him at point blank. It wasn't self-defense at this point. It was an execution. Remember this day, July 6, 2016. It's the day that I will no longer allow myself be numbed by these tragic events. For the past few years, as mass shootings, the loss of innocent life, I have become less likely to be shot and more likely to say, well, at least it wasn't so many people. And that's terrifying and disappointing. The younger generations are outraged, pouring onto social media outlets, sharing information that television outlets have failed to include. Over 1 million tweets with the hashtag Alton Sterling have been sent. The older generations call us lazy and criticize us for being so connected to the internet, but this is why. You're not seeing the full picture, just what the media is showing you on your flat screen HD TV screens. You're feeding right into the hands of politicians and corporations, and the younger generations are fed up with it. The internet gives us knowledge, and knowledge is power. It's time for you to join us or get out of our way. Because we're done with the hate against sexes, races, and religions. We're done with the hate of who we choose to love. The internet has fed us knowledge, and we have seen things that we wouldn't normally have. Differences that we see around the world is all due to the web, and it has become a normal part of our lives. Seeing something or someone who is different from us is okay. It's normal. We aren't scared of that, and we aren't embracing it either, because it's just a part of life now. So who cares if you're black, gay, female, or Muslim, or a mix of all four? What are you doing with your life? How are you changing the world? We don't care what you look like, how you love, or what you believe in. How are you making a difference, despite people thinking that you're different and therefore a problem? I mentioned that we live in a world where we have an all or nothing mentality. It's all Muslims, it's all men, it's all police officers. But it's not. After the Orlando shooting just a few weeks ago, people had an outcry against Muslims, and there was an even stronger outcry from younger generations screaming no back. There are over 1 billion, yes, billion with a B, Muslims on this planet. Not all of them are bad. In fact, most of them are good. Just like with anything else, there are bad people in that whole of good. Do not let those bad people speak for the rest of the community. I'm sure after today, there'll be a lot of people talking about police lives matter, but they're missing the point. No one is condemning all police officers. We are just asking for responsibility to be held against the police officers who murdered an innocent man. We understand that being a police officer is a dangerous profession, and every time you go to work, you are risking your lives. You can't deny that. But people of color are risking their lives every day, every time they step out of their house. You can't deny that when 114 black men have been killed by police officers this year. People of color grow up learning different sets of rules from their families on how to interact with police, how to dress, how to speak, etc. Just like women have to grow up learning the rules of how not to dress, how not to act, how not to be in front of men. It's ridiculous that in 2016 these rules still need to apply. My heart is shattered. I've never been so scared and so enraged in my life. The people of this world have lost their compassion. And despite these obstacles that lay before us and keep reoccurring, I have hope. Hope for the younger generations to get it right. Stay strong, stay safe, and keep learning.